When I originally saw this film in the theaters, I wasn't too impressed. What's up, everybody? I'm back today with a review of the original Cabin Fever because I want to review all three Cabin Fever films as a series. In the next video, we'll be doing number 2, but let's start with the first one. Cabin Fever came out in 2003 in the US, and like I said, when I originally saw it, I just remember thinking, they used Peter Jackson's name to hype it up. When I saw it on video later, it's kind of when it sunk its hooks into me, and I started appreciating the humor a little more. But the film, of course, was directed by Eli Roth, and he went on to do Hostel and Green Inferno's his newest one, which I already saw and I did a review for, so you can check that out. But he also wrote this film with a guy named Randy Pearlstein. Randy Pearlstein went on to write the second Cabin Fever film. But yeah, this whole thing is like Eli Roth's baby, and it's the thing that brought him to prominence. If you've never seen the film, it involves a group of college kids that go to a cabin in the woods, of course, like any good 70s, 80s horror movie, and they come into contact with a flesh-eating virus. That's the thing that makes it a little bit contemporary. Of course, there's some hostiles surrounding the woods that they're trapped in, and there's like a crazy dog and stuff like that. I don't want to go into too many plot details, but suffice to say, it's a funny horror movie. And like I said, when I originally saw it, I understood the 70s, 80s, homage thing going on there, the way it looks, the way the acting is, everything like that. But later on when I watch it, the humor is what keeps me coming back to this movie. Let's put it that way. There's a lot of good things about it. The gore in this movie is excellent. The way the gore is portrayed, the deaths, I really like them. They're pretty good. But like I said, the humor is what always brings me back. Their characters are like highly annoying, and when they die, you're happy. There's one character, if you don't like him, Deputy Winston. If you don't like Deputy Winston, you probably don't like Cabin Fever 1 or 2 because he's in both those films. I find him to be funny, and it's weird because I don't like most horror comedies, but I like Deputy Winston, played by Giuseppe Andrews. I find him funny. He's in the second one, and that's probably kind of why I like the second one. I already went over the gore. Another thing great about this movie is the music. Some of the themes were done by Angelo Badalamenti, which is probably a better composer than Eli Roth could have got, but I watched the behind-the-scenes documentary, and apparently him and Eli Roth are friends prior to the film. So, he did some music for him. The rest of the composition was done by Nathan Barr, who went on to work with Eli Roth in Hostel. Yeah, the music really played to me this time, and this is probably like the 6th or 7th time I've seen the film. This time, for some reason, I was really focused on the music, and the humor, to me, is good. If you don't like the humor, it's a satire sort of the 70s, 80s horror movies, and it looks great, and there's some scenes that are actually well-done horror scenes, but the thing that kind of lacks about this movie, and that's one thing I gotta say is sort of true, is not very scary. It's definitely more to the comedy side of things. It's not very scary. It's like a gory comedy. So if you don't like that, it's not spine-chilling terror, let's put it that way. And there's a few other things that bug me about this movie. Some of the way the shots were, most of it looks good. A couple of shots were a little weird. There's a shot where they're talking with, it's actually a character played by Eli Roth Grimm, and you notice as he walks away, and right before the scene cuts, it's like he turns to look at the camera to say cut or something. It's the weirdest thing. I never noticed it before. But that's just like kind of nitpicking, and why couldn't they try a little harder to get help? That's the thing that kind of bugs me is, I guess it's the second act. It's kind of like a little bit redundant. They get stuck at the cabin, and then they're trying to find help, and it's like them going to these different houses. And that part's when it slows down a little bit. Towards the end of the film, it picks up, and, all the kids get what's coming to them, and I like that. The townspeople get involved. And from there, all hell breaks loose, and of course leads into the sequel. But as far as the original goes, I think I'm going to give it a really, really strong 4 out of 5 because it's held up. I've watched it, so many times. And like I said, the thing that keeps bringing me back is the humor. If you don't like that, if you don't get like what Eli Roth was going for, then you're probably not going to like it. If you saw it once and you didn't like it, maybe I suggest you watch it again like I did. I appreciate it more the second time. So if you've seen the movie, tell me what you thought about Cabin Fever. I'm sure most of you have seen the original Cabin Fever. But let me know what you thought about the original Cabin Fever. Did you think it was funny? Did you like Sheriff Winston? Deputy Winston, I mean. I don't know. I like it. Like I said, it's growing on me every time I see it. It's up to 4 out of 5 stars now. Maybe next time it'll be higher. All right, guys. See you soon.